What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from the War Horse Brewing Company, and they are out of Geneva, New York, and this is their Turn and Burn, the Peanut Butter Cup variant, and this is the 2024 release. So they're calling this one a Peanut Butter Cup Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, and on their website and on Tap, they call this one a Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout aged on chocolate and peanut butter. It comes in 11.6% alcohol by volume, 50 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 4.5 months old. So I had no plans to review this one as period, like I was just saying as a whole, but period, because I recently reviewed their Bananas Foster variant. It was absolutely fantastic, and probably the best banana-laden beer I've had in a very long time. One of the best barrel-aged beers from the Western New York area, or the Finger Lakes region. We'll just say Western and Central New York, perhaps ever. But as far as this one goes, I didn't see it locally, so I had no plans to pick it up. However, when I posted on Instagram, like each day I do a write-up for whatever beer I post on YouTube, the brewery actually said, you probably would love the Peanut Butter Cup variant. I was like, I haven't seen it here in the Buffalo, New York area. Do you know where I could find it? They mentioned where I could grab it, and sure enough, I ended up picking this one up. Now, I've only seen a couple people talk about this one, and they just so happen to be two very good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews. When I posted the Bananas Foster variant, Dan said that he found this one disappointing in comparison to the Bananas Foster one. However, Mike, in the last month or so, posted an Untapped check-in where he said that this was delicious. He loved that, like, he got like an oily peanut kind of vibe to it, and it was fantastic. And Dan actually responded to him and said, maybe I need to revisit it. So those are the only two guys that I know that really tried this one out. I love peanut butter beers when they're done right. A lot of times they're not done right. So I'm hoping this is delicious. We will see. Let's crack it open, get in the glass. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. Like I said, that Bananas Foster one just hit. It was so damn good. One of the best beers I've had this year. So I'm hoping, wow, I smell peanut. I cracked that. I smell peanut butter cup. Not peanut butter, not chocolate, peanut butter cup. Wow. So, oh my God, that's looks like motor oil. I don't know how you guys are going to see this, but it looks like straight on motor oil pouring out. All right, we're going to do something like that. I want to be able to get my nose in there. Dude. What kind of voodoo is War Horse bringing to the table? This smells gnarly, and I haven't even like brought it up to my nose yet. So, yeah, that looks amazing. It's on camera looks pretty real to what you see in real life here. It's more of a darker brown. When I was pouring out, it was definitely like motor oil, and then as I continued to pour, it was like a little bit of like ruby red hints. And I think you're seeing that kind of at the bottom here. I'll bust out the light here, and we'll go from the top down. Nothing, right? Go from the bottom up, from the side. Yeah, that's not really, you can't really see. I mean, that's like pitch black, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this is more, I'd say, like a very dark brown than pitch black, but hold up to light. Yeah, it's almost pitch black, like whatever. Has a finger, it was almost 2 fingers of this beautiful, just straight brown colored head. There are alcohol sheets. Let me get it closer to the thing here. If you can see the sheets here, like around the top, especially up here, you can see them. And it looks pretty wild. So, beautiful looking beer. No doubt. Let's get a nose. Straight on peanut butter cups. Not peanut butter, not like a generic nuttiness. Peanut butter cups. Like Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh, dude. Wow. Underneath that, though, is a bourbon barrel-aged beer. It has a nice roasty, kind of toasty quality to the malt. There's a nice bourbon presence. It's more of like a sweeter bourbon. I like to say like peppery or spicy bourbon. No, it's just like caramel and toffee. Has a sweeter kind of bourbon presence. A little bit of vanilla and oak. Dude, it's chocolate and it's peanut butter, aka peanut butter cups. It smells rich and decadent, but like not over the top. Maybe take it back. It's not like Reese's. You know what it's like? It's like if you got like a natural or like a healthy version of a peanut butter cup where it's like actual, like true peanut butter and not your typical like name brand Skippies and whatnot. Peanut Pan. It smells great. It does. It doesn't smell as good as the Bananas Foster, but it smells great. Anyway, I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah, 11.6%. No. Like, yeah, it's barrel aged, whatever. Not 11 point. I just want to drink it. Cheers. That's fucking delicious. They're 2 for 2. I have... Go back in. I'm amazed at how clean this beer finishes and how much the flavors don't linger. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like typically you want crisp and clean and refreshing beers, to be your sub 5% lagers and maybe even like West Coast IPAs and things of that nature. This is actually a very clean barrel-aged peanut butter cup stout. Look at me. I realize how stupid I sound right now, but I'm being serious. Another sip. Buying this is fantastic. It's full-bodied, not over the top. I don't remember what I said about the Bananas Foster one. It might have been a bit thin, but I don't know. Maybe I said the same thing. This is full-bodied. It's not over the top in terms of like a thick, chewy, very viscous body, but it's hefty and it's worthy of 11.6% for sure. The mouthfeel has a good carbonation. I'd say like approaching moderate, but it still remains smooth and creamy on the finish. It's creamy throughout, actually. It's just smooth on the finish. Body and mouthfeel are pretty goddamn good. The taste is kind of what I was hoping it was going to be, but believe it or not, the taste is not as intense as the aroma, but it's still extremely well done. I'm going to try to break this apart, but this is probably not going to be a great review. It's the Beer Patrol. They're never great reviews. First thing that hits the tip of the tongue is a roasted malt quality. It has a roasty, toasty quality, and it hits you right away. So like, if I was doing this blind, like not even being able to see the beer and just taking a sip, be like, wow, this is a stout or a porter or something in that realm. But then I start getting dark chocolate, like a sweet dark chocolate that turns into peanut butter. So you combine the two, and again, it's like a natural, instead of like a Reese's peanut butter cup, it'd be like a natural version of that, where the peanut butter isn't Reese's, which makes it Reese's, right? But if you use like a natural peanut butter, the one you have to stir because the oil separates and whatnot, it's kind of like that, but in a peanut butter cup form. That's the first half of the palate. Roasted malt, sweet dark chocolate, and natural peanut butter. Then on the second half of the palate is where the barrel comes in. It's not a big punch of the barrel. Again, it's a nice sweeter bourbon, so it's caramel, it's toffee, it's caramelized sugars. There's some vanilla from the barrel. The oak isn't huge in this, a very slight like oak tannin kind of vibe to it. It's more about the vanilla, the caramel, the toffee, the caramelized sugars. It finishes semi-dry with a mild bitterness, but believe it or not, almost 12% peanut butter cup. It's not like sickly sweet. This is like one of the least sweet and least rich and decadent beers that have had almost approaching 12% in this style. Then after you take that sip and everything processes, the roasted malt, the peanut butter cup, the barrel, 5-10 seconds later, it's gone. It's gone. It's now a shadow of what it once was. And it has just this like cleanliness throughout, but like on the finish, it's just nothing really lingers too much. 11.6%. Nice warming into my chest. No astringent on the palate. This has 50 IBUs and it doesn't taste like it. A lot of beers don't. I mean, I always mention IBU ratings because I always say that I enjoy the I have OCD, so I like to, if it has an IBU rating, I mention it, but it really doesn't translate. More often than not, it really doesn't in the beer. Like I've had 80 IBU beers drink like 20, and 20 IBUs beers that drink like 80. All depends on a lot of other factors in the beer. In this case, this doesn't have much bitterness, very mild bitterness. So not 50 IBUs, drinks about like it's 20, 25. Let me pour the rest of this in here, just in case there's some goodies at the bottom that I'm missing out. Oh my God! Now that looked like syrup of some kind, or like motor oil for sure. Now listen to that carbonation. It's almost like a soda pop, but it's not that carbonated on the palate. All right, one more sip. I'm almost getting like a dark like a dark grape, which is starting to give me vibes of like a peanut butter and jelly Imperial Stout as opposed to like a straight on peanut butter cup. Or I just picked them up recently. Check them out. Again, I'm on a intermittent fasting diet. I've lost like, I think it's almost 7 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm doing a pretty good job. But I bought those because they sounded good. Peanut butter and jelly M&Ms. This kind of has that vibe, but like, again, more natural. Anyway, going off on a tangent. This is delicious. It's not as good as the Bananas Foster. So Dan, you're right. Definitely not as good as the Bananas Foster. However, just because it's not as good as the Bananas Foster doesn't mean this isn't good, because this is delicious. So Mike is also right in that. He's like, this is delicious. It really is. Huge shout out to War Horse for recommending this one. Whenever a brewery recommends me picking up something from them, I will. And I always give my honest feedback. And my honest feedback is we don't get a lot of War Horse stuff here, specifically in Buffalo. Okay, we don't. The turn and burns have showed up. We get occasionally they're like seasonals, like a lot of their like, you know, year-round offerings and whatnot. We don't really see, but this turn and burn series, I've had like 3, maybe 4 now. They do a fantastic job. So next year when they release this one, I think they release this one typically in like October and November. I'm gonna have to get my hands on whatever variants because they are 2 for 2 as far as the ones I've reviewed on the channel. And they're both hard to pull off. Like a Bananas Foster Barrel-Aged Imperial Stout, not a lot of places pull that off all that well. Same thing with peanut butter cup beers or peanut butter beers in general. I've had a lot of disappointing beers. This is not one of them. So War Horse's Turn and Burn, the peanut butter cup variant, the 2024 release, I am going to give this a high 4.5 out of 5 and go 4.55. This, my friends, is fantastic. I like the label too. You can turn it upside down. I won't, only because I don't want any of the goodies to spill out, but this is just a great, great Imperial Stout. Again, the Bananas Foster, definitely better and more surprising. This is extremely well done, though. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not, because it totally 100% is. Anyway, price point availability. The place I bought it at, $6.49 a can. I forget what I paid for that Bananas Foster, but I think it was closer to $8 a can. And then on their website, it's like $11 a can. For $6.50 a can, yes. For $8 a can, probably. For $11 a can, that's crazy. But then think about it like this. How many of us run out and buy Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island every year? And the base is typically $11.99, $12.99. It's a 16.9 fluid ounce can. This is 16 fluid ounces. You get 0.9 fluid ounces less. But we don't really blink an eye paying $12, $13 for that because we think the quality is going to be good. So even if they charge $11 or $12 from the brewery, yes, like that's fine in this current market. So no matter what you pay for it, if it's under $12, I think it's worth giving it a go. Bananas Foster is definitely better. This isn't that far behind. And availability, I have no idea with War Horse. Like I said, here in Buffalo, hit or miss. If you're in the Finger Lakes region, you definitely can pick up their stuff. Whether you go to Rochester or like a beer store in the Finger Lakes region, you probably can find this at some point. I think it's fucking fantastic. And yeah, I'm sleeping on War Horse's barrel-aged game, apparently. Their pastry barrel-aged game nonetheless. So huge thanks to War Horse for shouting this one out. Thanks to Dan and Mike for being awesome individuals that usually give me a heads up, whether it's me watching their reviews or their Untapped check-ins. I usually can understand what they think about a beer, how they feel. And a lot of times with a brewery like War Horse, if I see something they really like, I will usually grab it because I trust their palates and I know they're not bullshitting. They're honest reviewers who know what they're talking about. So if you've never checked out Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews, please go over and check them out. 2 great guys with a fantastic channel. And you're in for some laughs if you check out their reviews. So anyway, I am shutting this one down. It does it for another Western New York Wednesday. I don't even know if I remember if I said another Western New York Wednesday at the beginning here anymore. I don't know. I try to do my best with my channel. It is what it is. But this was a Western New York Wednesday, in case I didn't say it at the beginning. And yeah, check back next week. I don't know what I'm going to review, but it's probably going to be something from the West New York area, sometimes Finger Lakes region, which Finger Lakes isn't technically West New York, but it's kind of in that. I consider anything up to like Syracuse the West New York region. So, it is what it is, down to the south, southern tier, like Southern Tier Brewing Company. But regardless, I started out West New York Wednesday as either West New York reviews or beers who get great distribution to the West New York area from New York. So that's where this beer lands and this brewery lands. And I'm A-okay with it, like I said, 11.6%. Nice warm in my chest, nothing on the palate. I'm starting to feel it. I drank a lot of this already. I'm going to go drink the rest of this, but I'm already starting to feel it because I drank probably about six ounces of this. And that's a lot of almost 12% beer for me because I'm lightweight nowadays. But peanut butter cup bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout, yeah, for sure. Good job, War Horse. To the next one. Cheers.